Hello Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at a figure that has been hotly anticipated by myself and many others, and well, we're going to find out if it meets that expectation. Today we're going to be having a look at Darkside Vision Rey. As always though, go have a quick look at the packaging, then the figure itself. So, as always, it's in this new style box, of which looks absolutely fantastic. I love Hasbro's slight change of approach on this. As always, you've got that big black rectangular style box, but it's kind of got an edge cut off it, which features some lovely artwork of the character itself. Just so much easier now when these are on pegs to locate the figure that you're looking for, just because of that picture. Rather than rifling through looking for the figure at face value, you can actually look at the side and see which character is featured on pegs. So here we have Darkside Rey, of which appears to be on Exegol just due to the statues in the background featured there. If we continue on down, she's got a double-bladed lightsaber and that blue colour band which runs all the way around the box. On the back you've got a nice picture of the character itself, as well as a bit of a bio on the character. And if we go to the very bottom here, as always, got that typical legal garb. This one's number 1 for the Rise of Skywalker. So this is the first time we're getting a Rise of Skywalker and I believe a sequel trilogy character on this style of box, which is really cool to see. So that's the packaging for Darkside Rey. Let's take a look at the figure itself, of which straight off the bat, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was pretty damn hyped about this figure. It's nice to get some sequel trilogy love, particularly for something that only appears for literally a couple of seconds, but I'm a tad bit underwhelmed with this, to be perfectly honest with you. Don't get me wrong, it's nice enough, but it does seem like Hasbro's rushed this out to market, and it's slightly basic compared to the other figures that are in this wave. It's not a bad figure, it's just a little bit vanilla. If we give you a bit of a close-up on this figure, she does feature a nice head sculpt, of which is a great likeness to Daisy Ridley. Although I will admit, I do wish that they'd pushed some more of those Darkside Rey features a little bit more out on this figure. It's certainly a lot paler than any other Rey that I've got, but I just wish there was some more features to make it more prominent, to tie it down more to a Darkside Rey. Maybe even an alternative head sculpt. That would have been a nice inclusion, just with those snarling teeth, but instead you've just kind of got this sort of mopey looking Rey. Look at the positives, she's kind of got some Emperor vibes going on, a female Emperor vibe, which if you're looking for that sort of thing, then here it is. I mean, she is the granddaughter to the Emperor, so it makes sense. I think the main draw to this figure is definitely the lightsaber. This features the flip out motion that she does use in the film, so you can flip that lightsaber out like so. What I will mention about this lightsaber, particularly the hilt, there is a running change variant. I believe I've got the running change, but first releases or editions of this figure that made it out of the factory feature this gold sort of trim opposed to this very generic silver trim. And to be perfectly honest, I think I would have preferred to have the gold trim version, just because the Emperor's lightsaber, at least from what I can remember, it does have that very regal sort of trim on it, and it would have been nice to have seen that on this figure just to tie it towards that blood type. But instead, yeah, a lot of collectors, I think, at least in terms of the UK, have been getting this version with the very dull sort of grey lightsabers. So it's no biggie. I mean, I do like that feature of the unfolding thing for the hilts. You can remove those beams if you so wish. I'm not going to do it on camera just because it is a little bit finicky. There's nowhere to really put the lightsaber hilt onto her belt, so there's nowhere to attach that, which is a bit of a shame. Hasbro don't seem to be doing that as often as of late, which seems like a missed feature on a lot of the figures, but it's not a biggie for me because most of the time I'm just going to display my figure with the lightsabers and whatnot. But that's really it in terms of accessories. It does sort of add to a bit of a lazy feel on this figure. Don't get me wrong, the sculpting's cool, but it's just very basic. There's really not much to point out. It's just solid black plastic with some lines etched into it. You've got this nice soft goods cape, which is nice to see. I do like it when Hasbro includes soft goods capes, and it's sort of posed in a way that's quite nice. She's wearing this hood, of which isn't removable, at least I haven't found it to be removable, which sort of does hide that head sculpt a little bit. But yeah, I just think some additional accessories would have really pushed this figure, man. Like an additional head sculpt, even maybe the Sith wayfinder. That would have been a nice accessory addition. That would have been quite unexpected and relatively easy for them to do. But no, instead she just comes with these lightsabers. If we just look on her hand as well, she's got a ring on there, a nice bit of detailing, but that's really it. The figure is what it is. You know, there's not really too much posability with it. You can get it in good poses, don't get me wrong, but just because the cape's sort of like a solid plastic, sort of does hinder some articulation in terms of flow. I feel like I'm being way too critical of it just because it is something that appears for literally a couple of seconds in the film, but I do feel like Hasbro could have just added a few features just to elevate it a bit more in terms of intrigue. Like, as it is, it's just fine. In terms of this figure's articulation, she has a ball jointed head on a ball hinge so she can look up and down, although it's quite difficult just because the hood that she's wearing. She does have butterfly joints, which is quite surprising, so you can move that arm in and out. Ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, swivels at the tops of the thighs just there, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles on rocker joints. So there's plenty of articulation with this figure. You can get her in some quite good poses. It's just, I would have really preferred if this was soft goods so you could actually do that, but for the most part I just have this figure stood on my shelf with the lightsaber like that, how she appears in the film, just kind of stoic and force vision-y. It's a fine enough figure, but I'll say it again, some additions would have just elevated it a little bit more. Dark Side Rayfear, what do you guys think? Have you picked this figure up or have you skipped it? Let me know in the comments down below, and this is me, Daniel East 1000, to sign out. Thank you very much for watching.